In today's video, we're going to talk about a brand called My Derma Dream. They're doing around $25 to $35 million every single year. And in today's video, I'm going to break down their entire funnel, what strategies they're using to actually continuously grow year over year. And let's get right into it. Before we get going into the video, if you are a new viewer, my name is Brando. I work with 8-figure brands, 7-figure brands, kind of just like this one that does around $35,000 to $40,000 in sales every single day. Let me just refresh so you know this is real. But this is just to show you the type of caliber of clients and data that we're typically used to working with and have access to. Now that we got the proof out of the way, let's get right into the video. So in today, I'm going to talk about the principal foundations to pretty much scale past $10 million per year. And these are the exact same foundations that also My Derma Dream, the brand that I just showed you over here, which we will go through in just a second, is using. Okay, there's just certain things that are detrimental to actually allow scale to happen. And so as you can see, there's a lot to speak about over here in this video, a lot of different diagrams to show you. But definitely the one thing and the two major things that is allowing this brand to scale is that they're customer centric. They understand their ideal customer. They understand what pain points they have, and they have a very congruent sales process. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things here and there, but before we get into the video and I show you the real strategies that they're using, I do want to give you a quick understanding of what their funnel looks like. So this is them. They have 642 active ads. That's millions of dollars in ad spend every single month. I think they're averaging around $2.5 to $3 million in revenue every single month, and they're growing. And so the majority of their ads are video ads. They're running 64% of videos, and then the rest are image ads, as you can see over here. Very, very well displayed. And so if we take a look at their landing pages over here, they are scaling in a very congruent way. What does that even mean? As you can see over here, there's so many different landing pages, 99 ads out of 600 are going on this page. Another 97 are going to this other page. I'm going to show you in just a second what they are. But why is this important? Because as you can see over here, they're selling this sculptor, which was originally a facial sculptor, but they're now selling it with different type of pain points and angles. So they're selling it for the belly, for the hips, for the legs. They're pretty much inventing, or at least it's working for them, different angles and propositions. So for example, this is in this case, they're using it for, let's just read it. I got my hands on this season's must-have beauty accessory, that device that lifts, firms, and tightens your legs. Okay, so this is the leg angle. And so all of the sales process, including the advertorial, the listicle, everything is about the legs. If we move on to this other angle, for example, this is about flabby arms, right? And so the pain point, and basically they're using the angle of like, how are celebrities actually able to, grow and go on in time and not have the flappy arms, right? This is what, how do we avoid injections, right? So there's obviously clear pain. And so the one thing that I really like about their sales process, before I get into it, is that it's super, super congruent. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in just a second. Now, let me just transfer myself over to the other side, and let's get going into this diagram. Now, everybody scales with product, not the customer. And this is, I believe, the problem. So everybody starts with the product and then reverse engineers, okay, what offer can we do with this product? Now that we know the offer, what are the angles that we can propose? And now that we know the angles, what are the pain points that we can push into the ads? And now let's figure out the customer. It's basically, even if you're doing it indirectly, not you, just in general, even if the brand owner is doing it indirectly, this is how they're doing it. Most brands that do $50,000, $100,000 days are a lot more customer focused. They're customer obsessed. In fact, if you take a look at the billionaires, like for example, not Bill Gates, probably also, but Jeff Bezos, these people are just so customer focused. They care about the customer. They call them, right? They literally call their customers to understand the pain points. So they start from here, they create avatar customers, and then they reverse engineer pain points, angles, offers, and products. What are the most important things that you need to know of your customer? And by the way, please stick until at least the middle of the video, because this is where I'm going to talk about their ads and how they're leveraging transformation and different ad concepts to find winners and scale to basically $100,000 a day. That's $3 million a month. So let's get into that. But before we do, we need to understand several things of our customer before we can write ads, good ads. That's the language discovery. How does your ideal avatar customer talk, right? What phrases do they use? The situational context. What is happening in their life right now as they're going through this problem, right? Identity aspirations. I'm also going to show you some examples, right? Identity aspirations. Who do they want to become, right? What version do they want to become of themselves, right? Who do they aspire to? Is it an actor? Are they celebrities? Who do they want to be? Emotional motivations. How do they want to feel, right? What do they want to feel? Go from this state, emotional state to this other emotional state, right? And then of course their service need, which is what do they say that they want, which is still important to understand because these are all elements that we can leverage within our ad copy. So how do we get all of this? Well, we need to do the research. The one thing that my team does really in depth is TikTok, Amazon, and Reddit. So we go on Amazon, we go to either our own client and read all of the reviews. Ideally, there's like more than 100 or at least 50 to 100. If not, we go to the best direct competitor that sells a very similar product, if not the same product, and we read all of their reviews. We also do review mining on Reddit and on TikTok. These are all amazing platforms because it's unbiased. I would not recommend to go maybe through your best direct competitors' Shopify reviews because many of those are actually fake in most cases, right? And what happens is once we analyze everything, we just put everything into ChatGPT and we can create representations and kind of like documents that give us like a summary of all the reviews put together, which is super important. So the use cases, the sentiment of the customer, what's good, what's bad, what needs to be improved, buying motivations or purchase motivations, desired outcomes, right? And so we can also filter by percentages, which is super helpful. Now, let's get going to the video. There's one very clear information that you need to understand that is allowing them to really scale. They are so good at transferring over the desire, the transformation. They have the current state and they have a future state. So this is the flappy arm. This is the angle that we're going to use in this scenario. And then right after, in 1 or 2 seconds later, they're basically showing the future state. So this element of transformation is displayed in all of their ads. What I want to do now is actually go through entirely one of their ads so that we can take a look at exactly what they're doing. So let me just pull up an ad over here and let's go through it.
I'm pretty thin, but my arms are still flabby.
So first of all, I'm pretty thin and my arms are still flabby. That basically means that they're calling out a specific avatar, not the fat lady, not the normal lady, the skinny lady that has flappy arms. This is a specific avatar, and this is a perfect example that they know and understand their customer. So let's go over the video.
Any advice?
I have the same problem. I've been super thin
showing a real person that is skinny and has flappy arms.
my whole life, like genuinely couldn't gain weight for the life of me. I know. Good problem to have. I've been told it my whole life.
So this is all the current state, right?
But no matter how skinny I was always bigger in my upper arm area. They were always a little saggy and had some extra flab that would blow in the wind.
They're stressing the fact that they have flappy arms. So they're basically stressing on the pain point.
Didn't really care about it until my son pointed it out. After that, it was all I could think about. I started working out 5 times a week and didn't see a difference. And because I'm already thin.
These are all failed solutions. I tried this, I tried that. They're a failed solution. This is a very important marketing principle that they're leveraging.
I didn't want to lose too much weight. Instead, I went for the topical route. I tried this arm sculpting device from a company I'd never heard of, but it ended up being a miracle for
As you can see, instant before and afters.
my arms. Within a month of using it twice a day, my arms were so much
Before,
tighter
after.
and more toned. Even my son complimented me.
Before,
So
after.
definitely check it out. It has thousands of amazing reviews and is made with technologies that are proven to work.
So I'm not going to talk about how ethical this product is or how ethical the marketing is. I'm just telling you, of course, I can clearly see that some of these graphical representations are maybe not real, but that's out of the point. We're talking about marketing here, right? So you make it ethical in your own way, but this is how they're doing it and it's working very well for them. So let's go back into our diagram over here. So what they are continuously doing is showing the current state and the future state. Example, flappy arms, this is current state. Not attractive, uncomfortable feeling, frustrating, right? Future state, less flappy arms, satisfied with body, more attractive, receiving compliments, right? So they're continuously, these are just some examples that you saw live with me right now. Before, after. So even if you're selling clothing, you can sell before, after. I look bad, I look good. I look fat, I don't look fat. So you're selling also emotion, authority, you're selling feeling, you're selling desire. You need to understand these things and why they're principle to make it work. Now, one thing that they do very well is that they have a very clear structure of how they actually find and reproduce these ads. For example, this is their structure of one of their ads. They call out their avatar with an instant before and after. In this example, it's a skinny woman with flappy arms, supposed to be a B, I think, flabby arms that can't lose weight because she's already thin. We already spoke about this. Then they agitate the pain, right? Talking also about failed solutions and agitating the pain, that it's so important and it's stressing a lot. Stressing the pain, I guess you can say. They present the solution and then they show proof that it's working for other women, and then it's a CTA. Now, this is a very standard structure of a video, but it gets dissected into frames of seconds, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. The other element that I noticed is that they have basically different before and after visuals throughout the entire video to always remind them, this is how you look and this is how you want to look. This is how you look, this is how you want to. You get the point, etc., etc. The secret is to understand the winning framework and why the ads work in the first place. In fact, look, most of these ads that they launch are similar in length and structure. This is like, 50 seconds long. This is 40 seconds long. This is 47 seconds long. It's probably because they have a similar structure. In fact, I can say it to you because I've seen like 10 ads in a row. They basically have the same structure. So once you understand what is the winning structure, the winning pain point, the winning buying triggers, and more and so on of the customer, then you can start iterating and creating iterations and scaling with more creative volume. It doesn't make sense to scale creative volume if you don't have a good hit rate, meaning that you're just launching so many ads, but none of them are working. You want to have a good hit rate so that you can make a difference in your advertising. So once you find a winning strategy, a winning framework, let's call it, now you can test the same exact framework, but with maybe different visuals, so different B-rolls. Then you can do another iteration with the same framework and maybe just testing, keeping the body of the video exactly the same because it's working, and then you can test different hooks. So these are just two examples of ways that you can start iterating. So how can we actually study winning ads? This is exactly how we do it. We do it very scientifically. So we break it down by ad segments, and I've gone over this already, so I'm going to be brief. It's all displayed in my other videos as well, but it's an ad segment. We divide each second by frames, and then we understand what B-roll shots are in that specific frame, and then we give our team a creative explanation of the B-roll and the ad segment explanation, this one over here on the top, right? And so we want to explain these things in detail to our team, and so this is how it looks. Now we have a hook and it's 3 seconds. We know that it's exactly 3 seconds, not 5, not 7, exactly 3, and this is what the before and after is. This is of another brand, by the way, Dr. Squatch, but this is just to show you an example. Then there's a relatability point, and because we saw it in the ad, and the relatability segment is between second 3 and second 11. So maybe that is exactly what we want to reproduce with my creative team. And these are the frames that are shown between second 3 and 5, 5 and 7, and 7 and 9, 9 and 11. You get the point. And so what we want to do is understand them by the T and scientifically, because if we understand them scientifically, what I meant to say is like we need to understand them scientifically because these ads that are winners probably have a very long retention, which I always talk about in my other videos. And if the ad has long retention, it means that it's sequenced in a very smart way. So the least that we can do is dissect it scientifically and understand exactly what are the frames that work. Now, other things that we do is study, of course, the ad framework, what happens and when, basically this that I showed you over here. This is the segmentation of the ad. We study that, and we also study buying triggers. And then we also, of course, do like documents. We fill up documents that are like 30, 40 pages long for our clients. I'm not saying you have to do it, but this is at least what you're competing against, right? These are just the best winning ads that we just go ahead and funnel hack using tools like Ultra, for example. We just go in here and we funnel hack the best direct competitor. And then we do the same thing. Best ad, we study it, the framework, we study the buying triggers, and then we break it down to the science by timestamps. Second 0 to 1, 2 to 9, 10 to 15, right? You get the point. Same thing that I showed you over here. Now, let's talk about one other thing, which is the last thing I want to talk about in this video, and it's scaling with marketing angles. You have to understand that the reason why they have multiple angles, it's because it's working, okay? So what they're doing, and I've seen this over here, let me just show you, it's easier. If we go over here into ad angles, they have angles of, sometimes Usher doesn't work. It's supposed to show you the angles like flappy arms, turkey neck. Maybe it shows you over here. Affordable is an angle. Best alternative for Botox. So in some cases, I guess it's not wrong. Using the celebrity use angle. So they're using different angles. And to be exact, these are just some angles that I've just actually seen in their ads just to save you time. Double chin. Fix the double chin. Natural remedy to no Botox, which is what you just saw now. Turkey neck. Treat and lift your skin now to avoid saggy skin in the 50s, right? So targeting early stage 20, 30-year-olds, whatever. Reduce fine lines, gifting for your girlfriend, spa treatment at home, flappy arms, snatch jawline, save dollars without surgery, right? And then, of course, you test all of these angles and maybe 3% are going to work, right? But that is the whole point of testing. And so what they're going to see is that as they scale, they're essentially personalizing and tripling down and 10xing and 100xing on what basically these green angles that are the ones that are proven to work. So in this example, it's like double chin, turkey neck, and flappy arms based on what I've seen. And so guess what happens? They personalize their entire funnel and they create congruency. So for the double chin angle, guess what's happening? The ad is just about double chin. Then the listicle is just about double chin. The offer is also just about double chin. With turkey neck, same thing. Turkey neck over here, listicle about turkey neck, offer is specifically about turkey neck. Let me show you so you know what I mean. So this is just one of the funnels, flabby legs. So this is the leg angle. So you go over here, you read everything, you try the offer. Then it actually goes to like a landing page for more information. Seems like it's working for them. This is also a great way to have multiple stages to qualify people and retarget them, because they're being pixeled, as you can see over here. They're being pixeled. You see, added to wish list, right? And page view. And then we buy, and this is the offer that is specifically for a lifting device for where is it? I forgot where it is. For the leg, right? On the other offer, it's not going to say leg, it's going to say arm. So everything is super congruent, right? And then what I like about this is that they're also really personalizing the offer. So they're adding gummies and collagen gummies and also other products to really incentivizing. They're also using this breast cancer awareness foundation. I really hope that this is ethical. It seems like they are. I looked them up, but they're leveraging also just to push people. They're also essentially doing charity work, and this is also a strategy to, of course, help people in need with charity and also sell more, right? So a win-win scenario. So this is overall the strategy that they're using. I hope this video was valuable. Let me see if there's other things I want to talk about. But yeah, this is basically, if we can have a congruent sales process, why is this important? Because we can basically triple our conversion rate for one simple reason. There's a much higher level of resonation. People resonate with an angle that is specifically suited to them. And so if I see a flappy leg ad, and then I go to a landing page and it talks about like 3 other things, right? It's not congruent. So we want to make sure that the congruency level is super high to allow yourself to go from 1% to 3%, 4%, 5% conversion rates. We have some clients that have 8% conversion rate just because we create personalized funnels. Before I end the video, I do have a giveaway for you. It's basically this universal sheet and tracking sheet that we use. We use it for daily reports. You can put in your numbers, creative concepts, creative testing tracker with like graphical representations. You can just plug and play your stuff, add copies, visuals, UGC tracker, storyboards. There's so much. Get it. It's free. This is the exact same sheet that we use to scale our own clients to 8 figures. Get it. There's a link down below. And last but not least, before I end the video, if you are a brand doing at least $100,000 a month, plus or minus, at least book in a call if you want to explore the opportunity of working with us as growth partners. If we have spots available and we are not at full capacity, we can of course explore the opportunity of working together as growth partners and get you to, maybe your goal is 500K a month, maybe it's $1 million, maybe it's 5. We have experience working with multiple 8-figure companies and of course 7-figure companies. Book in a call, see you there, and definitely see you in the next video, I hope. Bye.